That reminded her that they were going to a petting zoo tomorrow. She and her sister Darcy were overseeing a trip there for the children in their charity, Comfort Zone, an organization for kids who had endured violence in their homes. Nick was going along this time, so she was pleased about that. They would visit the Backwoods Animal Adventure, which locals called the BAA. Its logo was a sheep, but there were plenty of more exotic animals, including birds, such as parrots and flamingos, not to mention an abused tiger the BAA owners had taken in. Claire gasped as Nick jerked her and Lexi behind him. He clicked on his flashlight. The beam sliced through sharp shadows to palmetto and dwarf palms, which seemed to leap at them. Before anyone said a word, he slanted the beam to the side. It shone on a bright yellow sign the Save Our Wildlife group had put in. The sign had bold print and a drawing of a Florida panther, an endangered species that inhabited South Florida and was quite secretive and stealthy, mostly moving at night. "The sign?" Claire whispered. "What?"
"Shh. There."
She glimpsed a sleek shadow slink across the street toward the thicket on the other side. A blur of beige fur, gleaming gold eyes, a rustle of leaves, and it was gone. Neighbors had claimed to see the big cats crossing nearby, but they were elusive. "Wow! It ran fast, but I saw its eyes!" Lexi cried, clinging to Claire as if it would attack. Nick put his arms around Claire with Lexi pressed between them. "No one will believe we actually saw one," Claire whispered. "Some call them ghost cats. The newspaper says that claims to see them usually turn out to be something else."
"We did see one," Nick said. "But let's head back."
But for a moment, the three of them still stood tight together, staring at the sign that read "Crossing Danger" above the outline of the beautiful beast. Before Nick and Claire had supper that night, they let Lexi stay up so Nick could help her research Florida panthers and tigers on the family laptop while Claire called her sister. Lexi had already taken the phone from Claire to tell her cousin Jilly, who was going to the BAA with them tomorrow, that they had seen a Florida panther, a real big one with big eyes. Now Nick could hear Claire back on her cell phone, talking about a kid nicknamed Duck, one of the Comfort Zone children she worried about because his father had committed a murder and was still on the run. Ex-con Irv Glover had come home drunk to find a male social worker talking with his wife, Marta. She was asking him how to get a restraining order. He'd beaten both of them in a rage while Duck hid under a bed, and the social worker had died from his injuries. Irv had not been seen since. Marta and Duck had moved, but money for them was being mailed to their old address with postmarks from Tennessee, where Irv had lived once, so the authorities were looking for him there. Still, Marta Glover was barely making ends meet. More than once, Claire and Darcy had taken a food basket to them. Nick knew details of the boy's life because he'd helped to prosecute his father years before for aggravated vehicular assault stemming from a road rage incident, for which he'd served time. "I'm going to call Duck by his real name, Duncan, from now on," Claire was telling Darcy. "He needs to have his self-image and confidence built up. The other kids still snicker over Duck, and that doesn't help anyone recover from an abusive situation." He watched Claire pace as she talked to Darcy, her only original family member left. Darcy and Steve lived closer to town with their two kids, a boy, Drew, who had just turned 7, and Jilly, who was Lexi's age. The two girls were as tight as Darcy and Claire. While Lexi looked at pictures on the screen of Siberian tigers, like the one they would see tomorrow, man, he didn't know tigers were endangered from hunters, poachers, and loss of environment. He looked away to watch his beautiful wife. Unlike most native Floridians, Claire had light skin, red hair, and green eyes that could haunt a man, and had him from the first. She was tall at 5'10", slender but sturdy-looking, even carrying the baby. His baby. Like an idiot, his eyes filled with tears, he blinked away. When he'd first met Claire, he'd hired her because he'd seen how good she was in court, testifying as a forensic